Yo guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode of the FM Reboot. It's episode number 43, and today we are returning with two massive games as we face Levante in the first leg of our Europa League quarter-final, then Leicester away at the King Power in a massive battle for European football. And ordinarily, I'd show you what's being going on off camera, but you saw the last episode, which was utterly bizarre. No wins in 6. How do we respond from that? Massive 4-1 win over Monaco in the second knockout round, second leg, and it was a backup team beating Arsenal by 3-0 on the weekend. Yeah, I was just as surprised as you were, if not more so. So in the Premier League right now, as you can see, real brief recap. Right now we're still in 5th, as we have been for the majority of the season. 3 points behind Chelsea, though we do have the game in hand. Due to the goal difference swing, we'll still remain behind them, even if we beat Leicester, but can cut it to goal difference with 6 games to go. Man City also have a game in hand, and they're 1 point behind us in 6th. We've both got games in hand on Leicester, our second opponents today. So that is basically that. So let's just dive into the first of the 2 games today. It is indeed the first leg, and again, Levante, lest we forget, we had them in the group stage of this competition. We were leading 2-0 on 2 separate occasions, yet we drew with them both times 2-2, throwing away those 2-goal leads both home and away. So heading into the game, this will be our team. It is 4-2-3-1, and this is our lineup. Patricio is in goal. The back four is like Nuri, Eric, Big Chris, and Williams with Neves and Forsby through the middle. Traore and Nato, the inverted winger / inside forwards, and Buendia supports Silva up top. On the bench, Bettinelli, McTominay, Keita, Ward, Prowse, Jordao. Actually, Jordal's got a little knock, so I'll take him off for Gibbs White. Gibbs White, Trincao, and Jimenez as well. First of 2, it's Levante in the first leg. Can we finally beat them at the third time of asking? Come on, Wolves. I think we're favourites, don't get me wrong, I do, but again, we failed to beat them both times we had them in the group. And again, when you look at the teams remaining in this Europa League competition last day, I do say we are one of the favourites. If not the favourite, then one of the favourites. And oh my god! Luck will balance itself out. Finally, things are going our way. Well, that is an absolute howler from Ruben Vezo. Well, actually, to be fair, Aitor Fernandez. I mean, really, it's just a miscommunication. That's Rio Ferdinand, Edwin van der Sar-esque. Bizarre reference. Was it Pompey they were playing all those years ago? It really reminds me of that. I'll try and leave a link if I can find a goal on YouTube, if not just a screenshot. But that's what it reminds me of there. A very bizarre reference. But even so, Wolves in front, courtesy of a bizarre own goal. And we do have the lead. And I said we were favourites tonight. What a dream start on Molineux. And a chance to make it 2 as Pedro Neto attacks down the right hand side. We know he's got the pace here. Steps inside to shoot. And saved. Should have been more convincing. Again, you know, we might be leading. And I'm buzzing with that. But twice we surrendered 2-goal leads to this team. So I think we'll need 3 to feel confident. But it's like Nuri down the left hand side as one man to beat. He'll find Traore. And now Zadama finds Neves, slid into Fabio Silva. He'll offload to Nato. And there is the second. 18 minutes in. Dream start. Wolves 2-0 up. Pedro Neto has really big interest at the moment from big clubs. But he still has 3 years left on his deal. So for now, he's going nowhere. Excellent finish for goal number 10 for the season. And Wolves lead by 2. But again, because of the throwaways against this team in the group stage, I'm not taking anything for granted. It's the start we wanted, but there's a long way to go. Traore storming over the halfway line and offloading to Silva, and he hits the post. Should have been 3, but still only 2. But it's all Wolves in this opening half an hour. Levante look absolutely shell-shocked as Buendia's corner is headed away and Ruben Loftus-Cheek loses out to Traore. If we don't score a 3rd or possibly 4th in this first half, then once again, it might be 3 straight games against these guys where we rule all our missed chances and fail to capitalise and allow them back in. But at the moment, there's no danger of that happening because Levante can't get out of their half, and at the moment we are currently in control. Oh, not again! Not again! Silva! Once again fails to capitalise. Levante are all over the place. Lads, come on. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but 2-0 up inside the opening half an hour. They're frustrated by the feedback, and I'm not bloody surprised. We should be 3 or 4-0 up here. And I could just see it happening again. This is the reason I'm a little bit annoyed at the moment, because I can see it happening again. Failing to take our chances and ruining them. Big Chris heads away the corner. Buendia charges after it, and come on, Wolves, let's get a 3rd goal before the break. We'd be full value for it. As Emi storms down the right flank. Should need a teammate here to offload to, but instead takes it on himself. There's Nato. There is the 3rd. Clinical finish, and finally we got the 3-goal cushion. I mean, it shouldn't have taken this long, really, let's be honest, but we'll take it regardless. Emi Buendia, look at that. Says see you later to his man. Little dink inside, and NATO, what a finish with the half volley into the near post. So 3-0 Wolves, dominant first half display. But again, based on the history against these guys, we're taking nothing for granted. Game's not over yet, let alone a tie. And so as the second half begins, Wolves up by 3. I think if we get a fourth goal, which right on cue we've done so. It's the Pedro Neto show tonight. 2 goals and an assist as well. I think that will probably do it. 4-0. If we don't concede an away goal tonight, it is definitely over. Brilliant ball by Pedro from just inside his half, and Silva latches onto it and smacks it in to make it 4. And the question is now, with Leicester on the weekend, obviously I was going to say we don't need a second replay FM. I was going to wave the white flag in majority of our Premier League games, but now I'm starting to think, can we afford to rest players next week in Spain and then play more of our starters on the weekend against the Foxes at the King Power? Not entirely sure now. I'm sort of changing my approach a little bit. Don't have to be indecisive, but now I'm feeling that way because this game is done. And if we don't concede an away goal, then I'd say the tie is certainly ours for the taking in Spain in 7 days' time. And as Fabio Silva latches onto the Brandon Williams through ball, could have had 3 or 4 goals tonight. Instead, he remains on 1. Still 4-0 up, and yeah, we are showing no mercy right now. Get a 5th goal, and as Silva heads over, I'll take the starters off. Well, this is the dream first leg here. And as Silva rounds the goalkeeper, well, he doesn't even round him, just slots it in as Aitor Fernandez misjudged his run. It's 5, it's over. Traore down the left, and this could be 6, you know, as Adam offloads to Scott McTominay off the bench, and now Silva does get us 6, but the lino's not moving, and I think he was a fraction offside. That'll be disallowed, and rightfully so. I'm okay with that one getting disallowed. That was pretty cut and dry. I mentioned before, it's not the fact it happens. It's just it happens like at a rate of about 5-1, you know, against us. It is pretty crazy. Like genuinely, like, you know, I will on very rare occasions see the opponents get goals disallowed as Morgan Gibbs White bangs in the 6th, and that one will stand. But it's very rare. It's like 5 times out of 6 it will be our goal getting disallowed. So when the tie was drawn, I called it an interesting one. And after our battles against them in the group, I thought it would be a little bit more competitive in the first leg. Instead, we've absolutely dominated. But as RLC does bang in a consolation goal, the clean sheet is gone. They've got the away goal, but I think we'll be okay. Well, they'll need 5 goals in Spain now after that away goal. Just can't see it happening. I think we've got 1 foot in the semi-final. What a fantastic result. What a fantastic 3 results in a row after no wins in 6. 6-1 at home to Levante. Neto pulled his hamstring, unfortunately, so we'll miss the Leicester game. But yeah, I'd definitely say now we've got 1 foot in the Europa League semi-finals. And if we do make it through, well, this is interesting indeed. Ajax lost at home by 3-0 to Fiorentina. Real Sociedad beat Lyon by 3-0, and Mönchengladbach lost at home to Atalanta by 2-0. As we know, the winners of this tie will take on the winners of this tie. So at the moment, it's looking likely it'll be a Wolves-Fiorentina semi-final, but we're yet to know that for sure. And just before our second and final game, massive one away at the King Power. Real briefly, some fixtures to keep your eyes on the Saturday, including a big one at 3 PM, Arsenal vs Manchester City. Hopefully the Gunners will do us a favour there at the Emirates Stadium. We're not going to catch them now, so if they can take points off Man City, that'll be a big boost for us. As we see the results, they did indeed win by 2-1, and Manchester United beat Spurs by 3-2 as well. So, as things stand, we're 1 point clear of Man City, and we've got the game in hand as well. Chelsea vs West Ham 5:30. Pretty sure Chelsea will win that comfortably. We remain in the chance for a top 4 place. But Chelsea at the moment are just not slipping up. 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, so regardless what happens today, we'll still be behind them in the table. So, moving on, this isn't good to see. Second and final game is indeed Leicester away at the King Power Stadium. Massive battle here. If Leicester are to have any chance of qualifying for the Champions League, they need to win this game. And really, you say the same could be said for us as well. And unlike what I initially planned, I'm not going to field a weakened side for this game. Due to the big win in the first leg against Levante, I might rest players for that game. Not all of my side, but quite a few players. Head of Brentford on the weekend instead. And now, you know, sort of bring the Premier League back into play a little bit. Heading to the game, just a 2 change to our lamp on the back of the win on Thursday night. Tristan goal, back for Isaac Nuri, Eric, Big Chris and Williams once again. Neves and Forsby again through the middle, but Traore and Trincao are the wide midfield pairing, with Buendia supporting Raul Jimenez back in the team. Bettinelli, McTominay, Keita, Ward-Prowse, White, Viscardi and Silva make up our bench as well. Second and final game, it's Leicester away. Another massive one in the Premier League. Come on, Wolves. We've had quite a lot of good battles with Leicester over the years, particularly in Season 1, during our run to the FA Cup final, and also competing with them for European spots as well. Really great team, and they've kept hold of some of their really good young players as well, including James Justin, who ordinarily does really well in Football Manager. James Maddison is still there, Yuri Tielemans is still there, Wilfred Ndidi is still there. And in the first half, there's been absolutely nothing to report apart from an injury. And we've got a bit of a crisis right now in the wide midfield area. Trincão's not gone down. We're missing Jota and Neto as well. And now Trincão has gone down. Well, not quite the exciting game I was expecting. 0-0 against the Foxes. I mean, we saw 7 goals in the last game. I guess you can't be too surprised there's a goalless draw right afterwards, right? But you know what? That was pretty poor, to be honest. Was there a highlight in that game? I'm going to play the second leg against Levante. And the Trincão injury. Oh, another big one. We've got some injury problems right now. Most injured team in the league. 3 to 5 weeks, Trincão down. That's a big blow. So we're missing 3 of our 4 wingers due to injuries. That's tough. In the table, that draw means we remain in 5th. We extend the gap on Man City to 2, but the gap between us and Chelsea is now only 5. So we cut the gap by a point, but unfortunately, again, it's great for Chelsea. That's the perfect result for them. So yeah, once again, I still believe our best shot is in the Europa League. And just before our game against Levante, real briefly, Man City are home to Leicester in a huge game there in the battle for European football. Everton are home to Arsenal. I don't think we're going to catch the Gunners now anyway, to be fair. So we'll see if Leicester can do us a favour there at the Etihad. And unfortunately, they did not. So Man City's win sees them leapfrog us, go a point above, though we still have the game in hand. It is just so tight right now in the race for 4th. So moving on, third and now final game, second leg against Levante, where I'd say we're basically through to possibly play Fiorentina in the semis after their 3-0 win in Amsterdam in their first leg. And heading into the game, again, unlike what I was planning, this is actually the game where I'll rotate my entire side, because I just can't see Levante scoring 5 against us in Spain. Even if they do, I'm pretty sure we'll at least get 1. So I'm going to go with the gegenpress system that we would use as our alternate tactic. It's going to be a 5-3-2 with wing-back system in this one, mainly again just to cater to the roles we've got on the pitch. I still won't counter press regardless whether that's beneficial in a gegenpress or not, and this will be our team. So Patricia's in goal. The back 5 is now Keita, Miguel, Big Chris, Marquez and Maddison. Interesting back line. And the midfield trio is Ward-Prowse, Jordan, McTominay, very high energy. Jimenez and Viscardi are the 2 up top. That'll be interesting to see how that works, whether they can get the service or not. And on the bench, Bettinelli, De Volt, Williams, Forsby, Gibbs, White, Buendia and Silva as well. Do you think I feel confident? I do indeed. Let's see if this backfires spectacularly. Come on, Wolves. RLC. Out wide to Mori. Lovely ball through to the Frutos. And, just off target. Levante with a fast start according to the stats. But again, they need 5. We might lose tonight, but not by 5, surely. Important to get our young players some game time as well. Great to see Miguel starting, Keita starting, and oh my word, not another injury. Now Marquez has gone down, so I didn't put Bailly on the bench, which means that 16-year-old Richard De Volt is going to have to come on and make his debut in the Europa League. Well, that wasn't part of the plan. Well, Fiorentina have absolutely thrashed Ajax over the 2 legs, so I mean, I wasn't sure if we were to make it through who I'd prefer to face, but I mean, they're gonna win that tie 9-0 at this point. This game looks destined to finish goalless unless Levante can grab something, if anything but a consolation goal. That would be for them. But even so, Fiorentina in the final 4. I mean, I say we're one of the favourites. As Levante do get a goal back, I think they might be the favourites now. So they need 4 more goals in 23 minutes. We know they're the comeback kings after what happened in the group stage, but surely that's a mountain too high for them to climb. But they'll try and do so as Mori crosses, and it's basically a carbon copy. But they still need 3. Okay. Alright. Let's just calm it down. Because Levante have got another chance from a cross, and they've scored 3 basically identical goals in 5 minutes. They still need another 2, but every single goal has been the exact same. A cross to the back stick and turned into the far post. I mean, they are not going to score another 2, surely. Meanwhile, Fiorentina have absolutely thrashed Ajax, and thankfully, despite a little bit of a concerning moment, we're going to be okay. I'm going to bring on the captain to see out the game for Scott McTominay. And I think I'll also bring on Gibbs White for Ward-Prowse for more energy through the middle as well. But we're going to be okay. Little bit nervy there when he scored those 3 quick goals. But whilst I thought we'd lose regardless, I don't mind one bit. Because we're still through, we did the job in the first leg, and on the weekend against Brentford, we'll have a much fresher side. It's okay. Again, play the situation, not the game. So there we go. We've got Fiorentina in the semi-finals. Yet another injury to add to the list. JWP's is not too bad. And we are into the Europa League semi-final. Fiorentina right now 10th in the Serie A. Absolutely thrashed Ajax in their quarters. And it's a very decent team. There are some decent players in there. There's no doubt about that. But would you say we're favourites, or would you say it will be very balanced indeed? I think that's going to be a tough tie indeed there against Fiorentina in that Europa League semi-final tie. Real Sociedad versus Atalanta will be the other one. And we have got the Italians, Fiorentina, in the semis. But that was this episode of the FM Reboot, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I think what we'll do is we'll come back with both legs and possibly do a triple header again. Brighton away. I'm not entirely sure. In fact, do you know what? That's too many games to miss out. No, Southampton away and Fiorentina at home. Because of how tight it is in the Premier League right now, I don't want to miss too many games. Yeah, the Saints away at St Mary's and then Fiorentina at home in the first leg. Have a great day, guys. Much love to you all. And I'll see you for the next episode of the FM Reboot very soon.